This episode of Distractible is presented to you by Amazon Prime. Whatever you're into, it's on Prime. And I'm into a lot. You can't look at my order history. I won't let anyone.
A lot of this show, I think, comes directly off Amazon. I think we all got our coins of fairness on there. Where'd you get your stacks of paper you scribble on, Wade?
Amazon.
Whatever it is, Prime helps you get more out of whatever passions you're into or getting into. Head to amazon.com/prime and follow your obsession wherever it goes.
Good evening, gentle listeners or watchers, and welcome to Distractible. This episode, Babbling Bob corrects his calligraphy, complains about rudeness, and asks for moral judgments. Waving Wade does physical comedy, defends YouTube, invents bread bracelets, and surprisingly earns sanity points. Ministering Mark explains his invulnerability to pitchforked mobs, defends double butter action, and security guard strangeness. From tool hatred to locker logs. Yes! It's time for Hinged or Unhinged. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of the podcast that never ends. That's right. It's time for more Distractible. I will be your host. My name is Bob. I get the host, which rarely happens anymore because it means that I won the last episode. I don't deserve to win. I didn't deserve to win, and somehow I did anyway. Joining me today as my competitors and losers from the previous episode, Mark and Wade.
Once again, the framing of it, I feel is that word that I can't say.
I guess that's not fair. Mark didn't lose. He just didn't win. But you did. You were the host, I guess. So
I did have points on the board, and I think I actually ended up with the lowest number. So in this one instance, you might be correct.
Yeah, you lost to Mandy, I guess.
Yeah. I think actually you are correct.
Yeah.
I still don't know that I need to be framed in such a way as that.
All right, Wade. Mark gets a loser point, and you don't.
This is why Mark hosts every other episode.
It is. Because you can't stop infighting. Ever seen the show? I'm the host. I give points. Most points wins at the end, probably. But also the points are very arbitrary, and we have coins, and those might come into play. Anyway, I do have a topic prepared for today, which we will do, and you will earn points for. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing? How's life been?
Mark's thumb is up.
I hate Pro Tools. Just throwing that out there for random reasons. Nothing to say other than that.
Like sledgehammers and stuff? Or what do you mean? What are Pro Tools?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Definitely not anything else.
Sledgehammer.
I don't want to say anything more than that because I recognize that Pro Tools is actually, it's a software for audio mixing. It's basically the industry standard. And as opposed to Adobe being the industry standard for things, they actually, legitimately have extreme functionality. And there's a reason that, many audio engineers want to work in that. And it's hard to compete for other things. And I recognize that there's so much value in what that is, but I'm just like, I hate AAFs. I hate them.
I also have extreme functionality. Yeah.
Damn, he's so mobile for his age.
For listeners, Wade just did the wave across both of his arms through his torso.
Whoa!
He did the alternate version of the wave.
Yeah, now he's doing the wave as if he's in a large stadium.
Whoa!
All right, that's wave 3. We need 4 through 7 still to complete the set. Sorry, that's bobbing. That's gonna go ahead and call that one.
That was a small wave. What do you want me to do, man? I'm floating out here.
This is the good stuff. You guys just earned so many points for the wave jokes.
I wasn't even doing anything and I got points. Hell yeah.
Mark, you're getting crushed right now from the wave joke points.
Oh, I thought you were saying, Mark, you get the most points for the wave joke.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were applying points to me.
No, Mark is earning points for being a loser. Wade is actually earning points for all of this wave comedy.
Yeah, I guess that checks out.
When do you get wave comedy? Stand-ups don't do it.
Oh, he did another one. Please, how can I compete?
Mark, make a joke. Come on, Mark.
No
anything.
Other ones.
You're dying out here.
I only got complaints.
This is why we're like number 69 on Torbs or whatever the different websites are that still care about us.
Torbs? What's Torbs?
It's the rip-off Forbes, the one that actually talks about us.
Well, I'm sure that no one knows what Mark's complaining about, and I'm sure that it will be fine and hasn't been a thing that's been haunting your dreams for years now.
Everyone cares about Pro Tools.
Pro Tools, yes.
Yeah.
The words he said a minute ago.
I had to remember them. I remembered something.
He did remember. Don't give him a point for that. No, come on. No, come on, please. I remember stuff all the time.
Female pointies. I'm hungry for points.
Oh, he's still killing it, Mark. You're in deep trouble, Mark. You better watch out.
These are all gonna be negative points.
I will say we're not 69th right now. We're 34th. But you know,
I saw someone tweeted 69. They lied to me.
if we keep tanking the popularity of this podcast by talking more about AI, I'm sure we can plummet those rankings.
Did you say AI?
All right.
That'll do it.
It is funny because I really truly think that there was a big misunderstanding because people did see podcasts when they were reposted to the YouTube channel, which was all on like December 20th. So if you looked up all those episodes from 2022 and 2023, they looked like they were more recent. So I think that is where a lot of the misconception came from, because you know it's just like people now being like, you should have known. It's like, well, we did, and it's just like the arc of time for people on the internet is sometimes different. Also, the joke in Ethan's video, that was there's a very funny joke, like asking ChatGPT about its own water usage. That's very funny. And critical of ChatGPT. That was the whole thing. It's funny and critical.
And Wade knows exactly what's happening. Don't you, Wade?
I was at the stream whenever that was, and I heard people say AI.
They said that a lot.
He does remember words. He's getting better at picking out those words.
Sometime in the next couple of years, Wade's going to start to remember whole events all together.
Oh God, I hope not. I would try my best to get rid of everything in the past. I live for the now.
You're going to have to live with what you've done once you start remembering stuff. That might change your perception of who you are as a person.
Oh, no.
You know what? I was just thinking, like, should we contextualize this? You want context? Find it. Google is free. I don't know why I'm antagonistic today.
I also kind of enjoy the like things are cool now. Every time I picture like an internet mob, I just think of like Monty Python with the witch where they all run up and like the lady's got the fake nose on and everything. They turned me into a newt. A newt? I got better. Like, that's the internet mob. Get him! He loves AI! Actually, I don't. Oh, he doesn't. Ah, over here!
I'm totally fine with people being critical. I've never had a problem with anybody saying anything about me online. It's apparently that's uncommon, but I truly don't. And in this one, it was a great opportunity to talk about real good AI for the first time, because I think in the background, Bob, you and I have been like, when do we introduce? It'll come up naturally, something like that. And I didn't even know that donations were actually open at the time that I said that, or else I would have pushed people to donate towards it. But even after that, people were just like, hey, he's funding an AI company. It's like, no. And it's like, oh, they're just doing the same thing. It's like actually opposite. The whole point of it's like, there's no good AI models. It's like, well, not yet. The research.
That's a funny uphill battle with, because when Mandy was thinking about what to call the organization, it was like, well, should it have AI in the name but it's like, that is what they're working on. That is the point. But just it being called blah 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 AI, everyone, it's even still after your live stream, people came from your live stream listening to you talk and came and were like, you're just building different AI model. There's no ethical AI models. And the whole conversation is like,
I don't think you heard.
There's no one here. None of us are building AI models. That's not what we're doing here. And even if you respond calmly, it's the internet. I mean, that's just how the internet works, but it's a weird position to be in, because you get the first reaction of a lot of people is like, so where's your chatbot? What's your chatbot called? You guys have like a real good bot or real good GPT? What are you going to call it? Like, no.
What are we releasing first, merch or our new AI bot?
Merch is always first. But then the AI chatbot comes out.
They're like, you guys are building AI. It's like, dude, we can't even get a t-shirt. What the fuck do you mean?
Well, actually, now that you say that, you have physically seen them, right?
I have physically seen an image of them.
But that was not an AI image. That was real.
Well, the shirts did not have 8 fingers.
It's actually today's topic, shirts or AI.
You cut the shirt in half and a robot comes out.
Just someone stabs it from off screen, and instead of blood, it's oil starts spurting out, and it's like, up, AI.
I love the clanker videos because they were making that joke a while ago, but now it's like having a resurgence because I'm back on TikTok now. Yes, it's just as bad as I thought I would be. My screen time on TikTok is up so high. It's so much better than shorts. It's so much better.
You can lock apps. You should have Amy set the password for your like screen time lock and then lock them away so that you can't unlock it yourself. You need to go consult.
I'm an adult. I don't need the child lock.
It's not a child lock, okay? It's for all of us.
All right. Yeah. But the clanker video is like everyone 2050. You want to date my daughter? You fucking oil sugar.
This is tangential to this conversation. Did you guys see the YouTube extending their protections to teens or whatever it is they're doing, the age restriction stuff?
The AI age determination.
He's Wade's already one of them. He's framing the conversation positively towards YouTube. I can't believe this.
No, did you see how YouTube is protecting the youth? I'm as anti-YouTube as they come, but do you see how they're doing good for the world with their ethical usage of it?
Sure.
It's funny. It's like, I'm as pro YouTube as they come. And I feel like I could never say that.
I'm not as pro YouTube as they come.
I'm super about YouTube still to this day, and I'm angry that they're making bad choices, and I'm not defending their things like that. But I'm still, every time I'm like, God damn it, YouTube, I'm also like, but you're still the best platform for people to like.
I've not gotten to shake my fist at them for a while. One, because I don't pay enough attention, and two, I feel like Twitch has stolen the spotlight the last 5 years of dumb decision making. So it's good to see YouTube back on top.
But this is crazy what's going on. And the more I actually read about it, because I had not known much about it, but it is a little insane.
Oh, I love our AI podcast.
And how positive Mark is about it all the time, regardless of what's going on. Wade, do you have any small talk? I know none of this is coming from you. Actually, you just brought up the YouTube thing, but that's barely coming from. Tell us about some broken pipes or something. Come on. Did your house burn down?
How much poop are you waddling in right now?
How many squirrels got in this week? Come on.
You got some syrup piss in your bushes?
Does your car still exist? Did it crash into the ocean?
Nope, no, it still exists. Got a nice bird poo stain right in the place I need to go get it clean or go clean it, but
don't let that sit there. That'll burn right through your clear coat. Better watch out. Somehow an expensive BMW still has paint that can be destroyed by bird poop.
No, biggest contributions I had were in the last conversation where I thought we were working as a team. But that was clearly Mark's small talk, so I'll just
I'll give you a piggybacking off of Mark point.
I'm giving you another version of a wave.
Hey, that's 7. I just want to throw this out there because I'm having a lot of trouble right now. Now that I'm thinking of the sentence, it sounds really fucking unhinged. But do you guys ever change the way you write? Do you write like the same way all the time, no matter what? Or do you ever, like right now, I'm in a phase where I'm writing in all caps, which is not a thing that I normally do. But I literally woke up one day and was like, I want to write in all caps some more. Keeps all my writing inside the lines. You know, you don't get those Y's and those J's swooping down.
If I'm writing like on a check or an envelope, I try to write more clearly, but like, no, not really.
Mark was about to be on my side.
Yeah, no, I have done that. And also with the all caps thing, I feel like when I started filling out a lot more forms that I inadvertently started doing all caps because I wanted it to be legible. And sometimes my regular penmanship is not the most legible, but yeah. There are occasions.
Like, I think my blueprints notes are pretty much how my handwriting always looks.
Are they more legible than your podcast points taking notes?
They are. Why don't you write podcast stuff like that? That's so readable.
Those look pretty readable to me.
What am I supposed to do? Give like a line per point? No. Look at this beauty. This is how points should be done.
Look, my scorecard looks generally not too far off from yours. Mine is completely legible-ish. Except for the ones where the word is readable, it just doesn't make sense, which is not my handwriting's fault.
I can't help that you two are just so good at getting points. I have to scurry to keep up with my handwriting.
All right, you know what? When he puts it that way, I am pretty good at getting points. Not this episode, apparently, but, I'm pretty good.
Oh, I was lying, Mark. You're doing fine.
All right.
I was just trying to make Wade feel better about his wave jokes.
Thank you.
Anyway, today's topic, it's mostly from Reddit, but it's not an idea from Reddit. I just did all my research on Reddit, and I've decided to call it Hinged or Un. And it's kind of like, am I the asshole? But I basically just scoured around Reddit and looked for behaviors that people described as being very unhinged. And I want your takes on whether or not they actually are unhinged, because there's kind of a whole range of stuff in here. Some of it involves some violence and some crazy actions, and some of it, like this first one we're going to talk to, I think is pretty interesting to describe as unhinged behavior, but I want your opinions on it. The first one I want you to tell me about is, this was a post, someone's significant other, boyfriend, whatever, girlfriend, buttered both sides of their toast and then just like held it by the edge and was eating a double-sided buttered piece of toast. And they made a whole ass Reddit post where they were like, am I overreacting here? Or is this the most unhinged shit you've ever seen? And I read the post and was like, I'm not sure. Tell me what I think, contestants.
Okay, I don't do that with toast. But like sometimes if you get like a dinner roll of some kind, I'll like split it in half and put butter in the middle. But then I'll also butter the top of the roll. Is that the same level of...
But you still have one non-buttered side to hold it from.
Yeah, but the toast you can kind of hold the crust, right?
But you can't set it down.
No, you don't. No, you don't set it
unless
down.
you like balance it on the edge, I guess, or something. But
Are we going to go into a whole bread debacle again?
Oh, is it a cannoli of butter?
No. Both sides, right? That's where.
yeah,
things
one
get-
piece of toasted bread, toasted both sides, buttered both sides, and then they just went at it.
Here's where I say it might not be, okay? And hear me out on this. Because usually people have more than one piece of toast. I think that's pretty acceptable, right? People usually have 2 slices of toast.
Usually it's like a couple pieces of toast. Sure.
When you have one piece of toast and you butter the top, the other toast is going to go right on top of there. So technically, in most cases, both sides are going to be buttered because it's getting butter from the top of the bottom one. And if you have more toast than that, then it's just like compounding it where the majority of the toast is buttered on both sides. So I'm thinking like, this isn't as crazy as people think. No matter what, if I have a buttered piece of toast, my hands are getting greasy anyway. When I eat, everything's getting greasy because it's, you know, it's just going everywhere anyway.
Oh, we've seen it.
Unhinged would be buttering around the outside.
That would be unhinged.
That would be unhinged.
Yeah, so I don't think this is as crazy as if it was like jellied on both sides, maybe that's starting to stretch the truth a bit. But the butter absorbs into the bread, and I think it's valid.
Oh, jelly both sides is unhinged. That should be dripping everywhere. But someone butters the outside, folds it in half, bites the middle, then like puts their hand in and wears it like a bracelet and eats it off. That's unhinged.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Not that I've ever done that or would.
Why could I picture all of that? Why could I follow that?
You don't understand. Like one of those Smarties bracelet, or not Smart. What were the bracelets that you could eat? The little can? Was it Smarties? Yeah.
They were smart. Yeah, those Smarties, I think. Yeah. People in the UK are like, ooh, what? But it's our version of Smarties.
Oh, sorry. Smarties bracelets. There you go.
Nope. That's not what I was going for. Smarties are a different candy. It's a chocolate kind of M&M thing.
Really thought I had you, UK folk. I'm sorry.
All right, so that's Hinged. We're gonna declare that Hinged. Thank you for telling me what I think. I need your help telling me what I think about this next scenario. I'm gonna tell these in the first person because I want to, and it's more fun that way. My sister and I were at this like sort of mid-level, sort of like Applebee's sort of restaurant, very casual, whatever, normal place. But it was in a situation where it shared a bathroom with a fancy restaurant. It was in kind of a bigger building. And we ordered some food, and I ordered some salmon, and the salmon smelled like an actual pile of shit. It smelled awful. I was not going to eat it. And I thought it would be funny to just take the salmon into the bathroom and put it on the toilet, because it smelled like it belonged in there anyway. I just thought that'd be funny. And I did. And like I said, this bathroom was shared with a much fancier restaurant. So I went and I took my salmon in there, and I thought it'd be funny. I just left it on the toilet for someone to find. And then this really like snooty bougie lady from the fancy restaurant came and used the bathroom after me. And she went in And then you just heard like from inside the bathroom, you just hear like, oh no. And she comes out and is like, there's fish where there shouldn't be. And that was the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. So 2 things to assess here. Is the salmon into the bathroom unhinged? And is the fish where there shouldn't be unhinged?
I need to know how it was transported. Did she bring like a plate into the bathroom with her, or just like a handful of fish?
Yeah, just picked up the plate, walked into the bathroom, and just like into the toilet area.
I think taking your plate of food's a little unhinged.
Oh, absolutely. This is patently unhinged behavior. Never have I ever had this thought where like, this smells like poop. You know where I know where poop goes.
You know where poop goes. Yeah.
That's absolutely unhinged. I feel like they were trying to frame it like it was normal. No, that's plain and simple. However, I was envisioning there's no way this could be funny, and yet it did result in funny. So I think it's valid unhinged, because a lot of comedy comes from unhinged situations or reactions, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Valid unhinged is an interesting take.
The unhinged doesn't necessarily equate with bad, right?
Yeah, no, unhinged things can be totally acceptable or funny or whatever. Just, yeah, I don't know if we need to define it, but
The transporting a fish and a plate into a bathroom is a bit unhinged.
We don't even know if it was a plate. They might have palmed that shit. They might have just, or in their cheeks. Oh, like a squirrel.
I don't know which one I would prefer, though. Is it better if they took their whole plate of food in and dumped it and then brought that whole plate out of the bathroom back to the table? Or is it better if they just took the salmon and were just like, ugh?
The plate's better. Come on, man. Is that a question?
That plate has bathroom air on it now. That's not, you didn't wash the plate.
It has, bring the plate. Don't bring the plate.
It has dust. It's been dusted.
You carry the fish in your hand. You put the fish in your purse. Or you have one of those little plastic bags with water in it, like if you bought a fish at like the pet store, and you put the salmon in there and carry it into the bathroom.
Or you swallow it whole, and then like a baby bird in the toilet, you...
No. You regurgitate that on the toilet.
Well, I guess that's just someone throwing up in general. I guess, yeah, that's fine.
You bite the salmon in half, store half in each cheek, and then go to the bathroom and just pull it out.
I already said that one.
You split it in half? You spit it in half?
Oh, I didn't say in halves. I said one cheek, so I guess technically two would be different.
More evenly spaced.
This is the kind of hairs I thought we'd be splitting in this episode. I like this. Well, now I know how I feel about that.
It's all unhinged. There's no solution to getting that fish to the bathroom that's hinged.
Yeah, this is completely unhinged. Absolutely. But funny.
Completely out of pocket. Got it. All right. This one actually happened to me in actual real life just the other day. And I know how I feel about it, but I need a judgment call to see if I'm overreacting or not. Family lunch. We went out and some family was in town. They were like passing through. And so we like met up and had lunch just while they were on their road trip. And it was nice. We just went to a casual place, sitting there. James was there. We're feeding James and hanging out and talking and having lunch. And the table next to us was two, like, I don't know, mid-20s, like young adults, but like youngish looking people sitting there eating their meals, watching a television show on a phone propped up on the table on full volume. Not like I could kind of hear it, like they had something and they were trying to like listen to script. Like they had it sitting across the table from them behind all their food stuff, and was so loud that me at the next table, if it had been in English, which it was not, it was in like Russian or some other language I don't recognize, I would have just been watching the show with them. And they just sat there for the entire meal. It was a long show. It was like an hour-long show. They just watched it. And it was like a talk show. It was like a late-night show kind of deal where it was like they had guests come on and they did like sketches. And I wasn't angry. Like it was annoying, but I was just confused. What the fuck kind of unhinged bullshit is that? Am I out of line here? Or is that the most like unhinged, ridiculous shit you could do in a restaurant? I mean, there are worse things you could do probably, but that's crazy, right?
Is it unhinged, or is it just like rude and completely anti-social etiquette? Like, do those things have to align?
I mean, it is rude and it's a normal thing to do, but it's the setting, right? It's like taking like a speakerphone call when you're like sitting in church or something. It's like, what are you thinking that this is okay in a restaurant to just like have your own private TV show that everyone else can hear.
Was this someone? I forget. Was this someone by themselves or were they in a group?
It was a couple. It appeared to be like a boyfriend girlfriend. They were like giggling at the show and having lunch together.
Hear me out. This is an evolution of the times that we are in, and like TV dinner being so prevalent, and like people not separating the idea of eating and entertainment. Now, in all of human history, eating and entertainment did go together. It has gone together, and like that's kind of a very common thing for there to be dinner and a show. You know, that's always been a thing. So with TV, people are very used to that. I don't think I have many meals where I'm not watching a video or something like that. I don't typically have sit down stuff. So, but there should be a social understanding that bringing that into a space where there are other people that aren't enjoying the same entertainment shouldn't happen. So yes, but I think I get where it's coming from. If they had AirPods in or like shared audio.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? In a world where headphones aren't even wired anymore, like if you just each take one AirPod, or you can have that exact experience, except everyone around you also gets to enjoy the silence. It just, the unhinged part for me was just that it was like, they weren't like, there was no moment where they looked around and were like, oh, wait, we're being loud. Or they did not give a fuck. For a minute, I thought I would be funny. Like, I wasn't going to be a jerk about it, but I was like, well, if it's going to be that loud, I'm just going to watch the show with them, right? So there was a minute where I was just kind of like, I'm just going to watch.
You should have pulled up a chair and just sat with them.
They noticed me watching. They like looked at me and they were like, oh, hey, good show, right? And kept watching it. And I was like, what? No, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable that someone's like watching your TV show with you. And
they were like, oh, thank God, another viewer. See, that's the thing I get. I get where it's just a complete lack of social etiquette. It's like people that have their fucking phones out during a movie and stuff. It's like, it's just incredibly rude and no self-awareness. Carrying a plate of food into a bathroom's unhinged. Watching something on your phone in the setting.
Yeah, we need a tier list of hinged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you, it's completely wrong. I don't know if I would call it unhinged. It kind of, like, it's at least borderline.
It's a little bit.
I'm the old man shaking my fist at a cloud. I get it.
I would also shake my fist. I just don't know if unhinged is the word. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just not understanding the full definition of unhinged. I'm thinking of something that's just like, why would a human being do, like, rude things I feel like are different than just like fucking out of pocket weird shit. Like if someone goes to pay for something at the store and they pull their hand in their pocket, they pull out Jell-O and slap it on the counter. That's fucking unhinged.
The unhinged thing is like, I thought that was universal, right? But it's not anymore. Clearly it's not anymore. But it's because, like I said, the show wasn't in English, and I have no idea. I don't know what the language was, and I have no idea if they were like visiting, tourists, if they were like people who were from elsewhere who live in America or whatever. No idea if it's a cultural thing, but I would assume that's universal. I would be surprised if I traveled somewhere to like Europe or to the Pacific Asian region and it was like, oh, in our country everyone gets their phones out and you just watch whatever show you want on full blast, and if your neighbor's show's too loud you just turn yours up, that way you can hear it. It's like, I don't think they do that anywhere. I don't think that's, but maybe, I don't know.
What if they're aliens and they just landed and they were watching the video on how to pretend to be eating in a human restaurant?
Well, they ate really good. They ate like very human people. So
like dignified or like a lot?
A good amount, but very, very clean and orderly. They seemed like they knew where the food went, Did
they have a car or a UFO in the parking lot?
I didn't. We left before them. I didn't even get to see. Yeah, hard to say. That's the only one on this list that actually happened to me. The rest of these are fantastic.
After the salmon, I was concerned as to what happened to you because I was like, oh no.
They also, I'm hoping that they escalate, but we'll see if my assessment when I wrote these all down was accurate. Here's one I really like. It's a longer story. I once dragged 10 full bags of garbage into the lobby of the bank that I live next to and tore them all open and dumped the garbage onto the floor of the bank. I used to live in an apartment building that like shared a parking lot with a retail space. And one of the things that was in this retail space was this bank. And our garbage day was like Monday morning. So the garbage trucks would come on Monday morning, take all the garbage. You're supposed to put it out like Sunday night or very early on Monday. And then, that this bank regularly, like every time, would put out their garbage, a shitload of garbage, like 10 or more bags of garbage. Monday evening, they would come in to work after whoever worked on Mondays would come in, do their thing. And when they were like closing the bank, they would put their trash out, and then the fucking trash would just sit there and make the whole parking lot and my whole front door of my apartment area smell like trash for the whole week. So my home always smelled like trash outside. And so they did this, and for a while I was like, oh, maybe they don't understand. And I like went and I talked to someone who worked at the bank, and I was like, hey, you guys put your trash out Monday nights, but they pick it up in the morning. And so and they were like, oh yeah, that's when we put our trash out. And I was like, it's like talking to a wall. They did not care. They did not understand. They were like, yeah, we put it in the alley behind the store. That's where we're supposed to put it. We're allowed to put it there. We're not going to change what we're doing. And I was like, flabbergasted. So obviously, the next week, they put their trash out Monday evening, and I just snapped. And the Tuesday after they put their trash out, I just gathered up all the bags that were making my parking lot smell like shit, dragged them back into the bank, tore them open, dumped them on the floor, and was promptly asked never to go inside the bank ever again. I told them not to dump their trash in front of my house.
Sounds like a valid protest, to be honest, but I feel like there's a step missing where they call and report this to someone. Like, I feel like there's got to be someone you can call when this shit's happening and be like, hey.
This is a tough one, right? On its surface, unhinged usually means unjustified, right? It's like unwarranted behavior, like not even just like about social acceptance, but it's like this reaction does not equate the situation, you know? That's what I think unhinged is, as opposed to just being weird. This is clearly, it's not justified because it's meeting the bank's unhinged for putting their garbage out on the wrong day and being like, that's what we do. We're a bank. We're not a trash scientist, you know? We don't know how trash is. Like, we don't know what these norms are. We just take money. That's all it is. You know, clearly there's unhinged across the board, but sometimes you got to match that energy, I think. But also, yeah, a phone call probably could have done something about this.
Why the hell don't they just put the trash out Saturday end of day?
So that's a couple key parts from the Reddit post. The person was in their early 20s, and they made this post like years after this happened. And one of the things they said in the comments, they're like, I probably should have called the city. Like, they probably would have been fined for that, because that's probably violates code. But I didn't think of that. I jumped straight from, I talked to the manager, to I'll just dump their trash in the lobby. But also the thing was, they had a janitorial service and they didn't work. Like, banks are open usually 6 days a week, right? Like, they're closed on Sundays, short hours on Saturdays. So the janitors were there like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something, and they didn't work the full schedule. So the janitors put the trash out when they got back into the building on Monday, instead of putting it out on Wednesday or whatever their last day of the week was that they worked in anticipation of Monday. So like, there was a reason, and that was also why they weren't going to change it, because he was like, well, then you need to like reschedule your janitor service so that you can put the trash out on a day that makes sense. And the bank was like, we're not doing that.
Or the manager of the bank takes some fucking responsibility and take the bags out. Like, we're talking 10 bags of trash. That's not that hard to take outside.
Man, you don't understand. They're stinky. They're stinky. You know, they're
bank managers are trash.
They're just stinky. You know, stinky people make stinky trash. It's just the way it is. You know,
I guess they could have some like lunch things in there, like mostly it's what, fucking paper. Like, oh god.
That was part of the post too, is they figured out it was the bank's trash, because mostly what it was like deposit slips and shit from the bank. It was mostly but there were some that were like, you know, had lunch from the
I understand that would cause this stink. I just feel like this is like the dude overreacted, but like the bank has some fucking responsibility here to put their trash out at the right time.
I mean, I know in my neighborhood I get in trouble if I put my trash out too early.
Yeah. Or if you leave the cans out like a day later. Yeah, people don't like that shit.
Yeah, our locality rules are like, you can only put your trash out up to 12 hours before, and you have to have them in after they're empty. You can't leave them out for an additional day, or you could get a ticket or whatever. I have to follow rules. Why no bank follow rules?
It's a little unhinged what the response, but also like Mark said, it's justified.
So that might be hinged. That's a tough call.
No, that's unhinged. It's clearly unhinged. But
oh, okay.
We're not judging justification today. We're judging Hinged.
That's true.
So unhinged but cool. Got it.
Unhinged but justified.
Unhinged, but I'm glad they did that because it gives us something to talk about.
Agreed.
I have another one that doesn't hurt anybody, I don't think. This person was working as a security guard in a hospital. And in the area that their hospital was located, they had people in the area, like unhoused people or people who were like addicts and had issues that would cause problems around the property. And like this person was never trying to like call the cops and get them arrested, but they had to, keep them out of the hospital and keep the patients and safe. And like they had to deal with these people, but they tried to do it politely. But there was this one person in particular who would just do a lot of drugs and would just do a lot of crazy shit. And they always tried to be polite and deal with them, but it's really difficult to deal with someone who is not of their right mind. And so this person was around again and trying to get in the main entrance, and the security guard was like, oh, please, just okay. And they were trying to talk to this person and calm them down and get them to continue on elsewhere. And the security guard noticed that there were cops clearly coming down the road with their lights on. Somebody had called the cops. And the security guard was like, this guy does not need to be arrested. He just needs to cool off and calm down from whatever he's on. Like that sucks. I don't want him to get picked up by these cops. But they couldn't get this person to leave. And the cops are coming. They're turning into the hospital. They're clearly coming this way. And finally, the security guard is like, all right, I'm going to get him out of here one way or another. And this dude, whatever was happening, this dude was like talking about, do you see the monkeys? Do you see the monkeys? Something like that. That's what he was on. That's why he was freaking out. And the security guard had been trying to tell him, it's all good, take a breath. And finally, the security guard is just like, you know what? I do see the monkeys. I am the monkeys. They're right here. And like freaked the fuck out. And the guy who was afraid of the monkeys was just like, and like fucking ran away and fled from the hospital and fled also from the cops. Cause then the cops pull up and the security guard's sitting right there and like, I don't know. And so, but the security guard like fully like freaked out, like, like everything, and scared the shit out of this guy and ran away, escaped. No idea where they went, but this was in the main entrance of the hospital. So like, there's like patients and doctors behind in the waiting. There's like cameras. This is in the middle of a public area in the main entrance of a hospital. Security guard just does that. And after the guy leaves, the security guard is just like, all right, yeah, good. Saved him. Hinged or unhinged?
I think it's hinged. I don't know. I've been jumping in early on this all the time, so wait, you could start if you want, but man.
I get why he did it. And it worked. It was smart. Like, it was clever thinking. But just imagining the scenario where people are sitting around, like someone's sick, not feeling well, they're trying to get back. People are like, and then all of a sudden you look over and the guy who like you're expected to protect you is all like, like that's fucking unhinged as hell to witness.
I don't know. If you think about it from if you're matched up 1-to-1, he's got 1-to-1. This guy and him are in this own little world of theirs. He's not exceeding anything that the guy was already bringing into the situation, right? So whereas like the trash is like unhinged, and I think the response is unhinged because there was another solution. He chose the most human solution possible to the problem, right? Society aside, he is doing his job, getting, making sure that like he's not going to hurt anyone else with it. He's getting out of the area. He's moving on. Like that's what security guards should do, is like move on out of this area. Like, like you can't be here. So he had the right answer. I think that because his answer was the correct response, that's the only thing that makes this hinged. If he did that and the other guy didn't respond in the way that got him to do what the security guard's job is there for, then probably at the end of it, in hindsight, it would be like, yeah, it was a little crazy for me to try that. But I think he read the situation right. He didn't want this guy to get arrested, and it's just like, you just gotta get out of here. So I don't know. I think it sounds extreme, but it is. I don't know.
From that individual's perspective, it was hinged. From what's expected of a security guard's demeanor and from how everyone else would have seen that, it's unhinged as fuck. So I guess it really depends on the perspective.
I think they got to introduce that into security guard training. I think they got to bring that into training. I think that's got to be put in the book.
Dude, I'll switch careers right now. It's like, page 3. Someone walks up to you a bit drugged out of your mind. Do you get the cops involved, shoo them away, or act like a terrifying monkey monster?
Yeah, the handbook says if they say, can you see the A, monkeys, turn to page 64. If they say B, elephants, turn to page 69. Like, I think that it should be all in there.
It's a Goosebumps choose your own adventure manual for security guard training.
So, I don't know. I'm probably in the wrong here, but I'll take that.
Well, no, I agree with you. Like, I think it was the right thing to do, and I think it makes sense in context, everything else. But I think, like, if you're not, even for that dude, the dude was freaked out and fucking ran away. Like, it was the best solution.
Yeah, well, he was just trying to escape the monkeys.
But the best solution can still be unhinged, can't it? I don't know.
I mean, maybe if the best solution is something that we think is unhinged, I think we have to change our perspective of what hinged even is.
Damn you, Bob, for giving us ones that are debatable.
Hinges are relative, I guess, is the point, which makes doors really confusing.
If time can be relative, why not hinged?
Why not hinge?
I think Einstein was thinking about this.
Different lenses in which you view the situation. It's hinged via the individual perspective, unhinged via the group.
It's Schrodinger's monkey. Are there monkeys in the box? The only one way is to become the monkey yourself.
What if we find out there actually were monkeys in the hospital and the security guard he never looks behind him?
This is not a story. This is just a thing that happens. This is a subreddit that I'm on because it's interesting. There's a lot of subreddits that are like, what is this blank, right? And the whole point is you find something. What is this pipe? What is this car? Whatever. There's one that's just, what is this thing? That's a very general, like, oh, I found this random thing. What the fuck is this? And it's fascinating because it's almost always there's one comment who comes in and is like, oh, that's like the cap from this bottle for this specific toy that they sold in Eastern Europe in the like late 90s. And it's like, that's exactly the fucking, how did you know what that is? And how did you find this post that you have this random piece of knowledge? Well, one of these subreddits I'm on is, what is this bug? Which is interesting because there's a lot of crazy bugs out there. There's so many types of bugs and different variations, and it's fascinating. But like half the people who post on that subreddit post a picture of them holding a bug, and they're like, hey, what's this cute bug? And inevitably, every single time someone posts something where they're holding it, the comments are like, "You're holding that? Are you alive? That's the second most poisonous insect on in the continent of North America. Well, you should never touch it." And people are fucking crazy.
Are you alive? Nope, posted it from the grave.
Yeah, well, like that. Well, and there are some that are, I mean, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. There are some where the person, like, they clearly held whatever and posted and then said it. And then they're like, yeah, 2 hours later, my whole left arm burst into flames and I wanted to die. You were right. I shouldn't have touched that. But that's I'm not a bug person. I get that some people really like insects and it's not at all creepy to pick up a thing that you like tarantulas and you hold. I would never. I don't care for insects. I find them generally creepy, and especially ones that look scary. I find them scary. I would never just pick them up. Is that unhinged, or am I just a wimp about insects? It's unhinged. Just pick up a thing. You have no idea what it is, right? That could be poisonous or sting you or fucking who knows what.
Random aside, have you guys heard the song? It's like from, I don't even know, the 90s called Here's Your Sign, where people that do really stupid things, like hands a sign that says I'm stupid or something.
Isn't that, was it Bill Engvall's thing?
Yeah.
I have not.
I wouldn't do it. I'm pretty hinged.
You wouldn't? Okay, is this picking the thing up or calling people out like that?
I wouldn't pick the thing up.
So we're debating about picking the thing up. Okay.
So Wade's entire point is based around the idea that Wade is hinged, completely hinged.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the host. You decide what we.
Wade gets a hinged point, I guess. I don't know if I buy that, but
all right, okay.
Look, if Mark's not going to put up a fight, I'm here to moderate.
I can't say I'm perfectly hinged either, but so I'm not going to call the kettle black here. I'm going to just sit by the sidelines here.
Taking a photo or like getting a stick to pick up a bug or like, something from a distance and zooming in, that's one thing. If you are physically handling some living thing, you have no idea what it is, what it can do, what diseases it might carry or whatever else. And you're just like, look at this cute little snake. Its fangs are in my head. What is that? Like, what the fuck? Yes, you're unhinged, you psychopath. What the fuck?
I don't know. Because it's like there's stupidity that's not necessarily unhinged. It's not unhinged to be stupid. There's ignorance, because there's certain things like that I've seen before where it's like a shell. But there's a certain shell that's like the shell of the poison sea snail that'll explode your brain from the inside out or something like that. But it looks just like a pretty shell. People pick up shells all the time at the beach.
Sure.
Erring on the side of it looks like a horrifying bug monster or, something like that. It's just kind of, they're an idiot. They're not unhinged. They're just, I feel like Unhinged needs a certain level of extreme. Like the monkey one, the more I see these delineations, the more I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe that security guard was unhinged after all.
I'm like that on the toast. I'm like, maybe the toast is more unhinged than I thought.
Maybe I gotta go back and, reevaluate because this just seems stupid. This just seems dumb, not unhinged, because unhinged suggests like they're just really going all out there. It's blowing the door off the hinges, kind of action, whereas picking something up is just, you're dumb.
I would say the shell is a mistake or dumb. If you pick up that shell, it's like you expect that it's empty, you expect that it's safe because people collect shells. People don't generally go around picking up like, look at this really colorful frog in this place I've never been before. It's gotta be fine.
I recognize, but it's like, what's the difference between that and stupid?
Stupid is picking something up and throwing it at your friend thinking it's funny.
No, that's unhinged. That's unhinged.
Unhinged is putting yourself in danger. That's both.
No, one's an action, to influence something else around you, but it's like, this is just picking it up and looking at it. That's dumb.
Just a prank, bro. Maybe unhinged is the wrong word. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, that's stupid, that's foolhardy, and that's not thinking things through. Is that unhinged? I guess unhinged would be like putting that thing on a platter and then like serving it to a customer you don't like.
Putting it in the toilet,
Yeah.
The more I think about the salmon one, the more I skipped right over the first part of that story and was like, oh, the rich lady was really unhinged for screaming about salmon in the toilet, wasn't she?
Oh, you thought
No, yeah, I underestimated the first half of that story until we started talking about it here because it was told from the perspective of the person who put the fish in the bathroom. So clearly their story, they were like, yeah, well, I took the fish and I put it in the bathroom, and then this stupid rich lady came in
completely unhinged. Fish, where should it be?
What, crazy. Anyway, all right, picking up bugs, stupid but hinged.
Man, I guess
this one is clearly not about me because this is from a woman's perspective, but this was incredibly immature. But luckily, it was over a decade ago. My boyfriend at the time cheated on me with another person. He desperately wanted me to forgive him, told me it was a mistake, and begged me to forget the whole thing and come stay with him, and told me that he loved me and this was just a huge mistake and he regretted everything. And I was pretty dead set on dumping him and getting the hell out of there. But I told him if he would call this other girl on speakerphone, tell her he didn't love her, and let me be in the room and hear the exchange, I would maybe be able to forgive him. And I was never going to forgive him. But he did it. And he called and he broke this other girl's heart because apparently he'd been telling her the same kind of sob story that he actually really loved her and he was going to leave me and blah, and he was just an asshole. Anyway, he did that, told her he didn't love her. They had a huge fight. I just stood there and listened with a big smile on my face. He hung up the phone and looked at me expectantly, and I dumped him and walked out the door and never saw him again.
That's kind of awesome.
It was kind of, I know that the other person, if they knew it was cheating, that's shitty on their part. It's kind of mean to the other third party a little bit. I have no idea the full context of if they knew they were home wrecking or what the deal was. But if they had no idea and this guy was just screwing both of them over, it's kind of unhinged to just rain that down on this other girl when maybe it's not her fault. Maybe it was.
Based on your description, though, it sounds like he was lying to her too. There was a mislead there as well.
Right. That's what I summarized it, but that's how it read, was that this dude was kind of lying to both of them and just didn't want to get caught. And it really wasn't like one of them knew she was the side chick or something, and that they were both led on by this guy. Having
a witness to that conversation and her heart being broken is a little unhinged and fucked up, but in the long run, it was probably good for her to know that was happening.
Yeah. So this, I imagine the gut reaction of a lot of people would be like, well, she shouldn't say something if it's, she's not going to keep her word. I I would hope that people would understand that she basically did what he did, because cheating is about like emotional deception. And so when it came out, like, it's like, oh, you weren't saying what I thought you were saying. So this is kind of the same as the monkey security guard, okay? A little bit. It's matching. It's matching the what was received. I think that it would be unhinged if it was excessive. There's a certain eye for an eye that, you can have a moral philosophical discussion about, but this is like in the moment in the decision. It's like, yeah, she didn't tell him the truth, or she went back on her word, but so did he for longer and for more time, and now he has some of the same feeling that she got. I'm not a big fan of eye for an eye, but I don't think we can call this unhinged because it is equivalent behavior. Probably not even equivalent, but it's like similar behavior. He feels like conflicted and brokenhearted for the situation that he created. Therefore, I don't know if it could be unhinged.
She didn't go and like get him to break up and then stay with him while all the same time cheating on him to get back, and like that way. That would be a bit more unhinged. This was just a like, I'm gonna make sure that you don't get either one of us.
Yeah. Or at least you feel brokenhearted as I do, or something similar to that. I think that it's up to the individual person whether it's valid. I don't think any of us can declare it to be unhinged given the circumstances. It's up to her or the individual whether or not they are willing to take someone back. That's a pretty severe break in trust. Some people have come back from it. A lot of people have not. That's up to the individual. Everyone on an outside perspective looking in is like, you can't make those decisions for you. I can't say it's unhinged.
I mean, okay, if she had followed through, he made the phone call, they had the fight, they broke up, and then she was like, all right, we're back together. If that was the result, would we call it unhinged that he had her do that? Like, is the unhinged part the fact that that call happened in front of her, or that she then broke things off too, if we're considering it?
I think it's that she lied to him about whether or not she would take him back. That's what's
I don't find that
debated.
part.
Yeah, I don't find it either.
That part doesn't feel unhinged to me at all.
I think it's mean, but then again, it's mean matching what was already pretty mean. But it's like, anger is an emotion that I have tried to control throughout my life, and it's something that also, anger is useful. Anger is useful because it helps you establish boundaries. Like, it's, I don't know, probably Inside Out just explained this better than I could, but it's like, anger is one of the valid human emotions. Like, anger can lead to invalid, results if you let it go out of control. But anger is a natural human response. And me in my life, I've discovered that trying to suppress it beyond the point where you let people walk all over you is a bad thing. So it's like, you do need some of that anger. Righteous indignation is not only natural, I think in ways it can be healthy. There's a reason why rage rooms exist, but it can get out of control very quickly. The line is really thin on that barrier between hinged anger and unhinged anger, so.
Interesting fun fact about rage rooms. Studies are actually mixed on whether or not that is a positive way to deal with angry feelings. Some studies have shown that going to a rage room because you feel anger and you're trying to express it and get it out leads to a direct connection between feeling anger and acting physically, which leads some people to become more violent than they otherwise may have been.
As a guy who punched a wall out of anger in the sauna days. Wait, I don't know if you saw the video, but I was angry and I punched a wall.
You were so mad. You could tell in that video how mad you were.
So mad. I've had anger problems a lot of my life, and a lot of my life has been trying to suppress it. I've also been to a rage room. I don't feel any stronger connection. Now, there's one anecdote. I think that if you look at it from a larger perspective of like someone, every time that they get angry, they go to a rage room. That is, again, it's like establishing the pattern. How many times in this study were people going? What type of people? What age range? I don't know the details of the study, and there's a lot of easy conclusions you can draw from things. And I'm not saying that rage rooms are generally a good thing, but there is something about a cathartic, safe release that we can't deny, that we as living beings on this planet just fucking sometimes want to hit something. That is, I don't think that we can say that universally that is necessarily a bad thing, because if someone has done you wrong to the point where they have done you harm and you have an instinct to hit them back, I can't say that's a bad instinct. There are times and there are places, and having a physical connection between, the impulse of anger and physical action, if you suppress that to nothingness, then it's like that's removing a part of what makes us human. And some people are more predisposed to it to others. But as someone who is, I would say, a bit more predisposed to it than others, there's an unhealthy level. So I can't necessarily say it's completely unhinged.
Yeah, I mean, in your example, the rage room stuff, I don't get angry often. I get frustrated, like I have my moments where I'm like, ugh. But actual anger is something for me that has to build up, and then I get to a point where finally I kind of like snap and I'm really pissed off. It doesn't happen very often, and thankfully I've never like done really anything when it has happened, but like I know to go isolate myself and cool down and whatever else. In that sense, I could see a rage room being a good thing. Like if you have just a build up and you need to get a release of some kind, it's just like things have been building up in life and you need to get a release, that's one thing. If you have to go to a rage room constantly, you need more help than a rage room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like going once a year and just like getting something out of your system is one thing. Like if you're a weekly or monthly visitor and it's like, oh, I can't believe the toast got overdone again, I better go break a car. It's like, okay, you have some rage issues. You need more than just...
They buttered both sides of my toast. I went to the bathroom, found a fucking fish. They knew my embarrassing childhood fish trauma.
That guy acted like a monkey to me.
It's the same guy in every story.
I don't know. I can see positives where it's like, okay, you just go and you have an outlet, and it's like you go scream and hit a, I don't know, piece of cardboard with a bat or something, whatever. Yeah, if you've got constant anger issues like that and you need to be there a lot, it's like, okay, maybe now you need more help and guidance or medication or something to help with your anger issues.
There's always a line. I think there's always a line. It is relative. Einstein was right. Time and anger are relative.
Smart guy.
But if you're near a black hole, the anger grows at an exponent.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'd be pretty pissed if I was drifting into a black hole. Where's my CRT TV and baseball bat? Give me that shit.
So that's a very hinged breakup. Thank you. I feel like I know what I think now. Last one more. This one has a little explaining to it, but I think it's a really interesting series of events. Well, this story is from a long time ago. I was in high school. There was this kid who was a bully to everyone, widely and generally regarded as a complete asshole. Really miserable dude. Always just took it out on everyone. Didn't have any friends because he bullied everyone, but that was his whole thing. And he would just like talk shit about people and beat people up and was like just the bulliest kind of bully you can imagine. It's a week before spring break, and he's been bragging about how he's going to spend 2 weeks in Europe. That when we all leave for spring break, he's going to leave and go on this big trip and be in Europe, but they're staying a week, like an extra week longer. So his spring break is going to be 2 weeks when the rest of us only get a week off. That we come back to school, and he won't shut up about it. And I start thinking about it, and I'm like, so he'll be gone for 2 weeks. Interesting. And my locker is close enough to his to where during that week before everyone leaves for spring break, I start watching him when he goes to his locker to learn his locker combination. And eventually I figure it out. I learn his locker combination. And on the Friday before we all leave, like on the way out the door, I had brought a huge trash bag full of shit with me, hidden it in a bush outside the school. And then before I went home for spring break, before everyone left, I went and retrieved my giant bag of shit and went and opened this bully's locker and dumped the shit into his locker, and didn't just dump it in, but like took all of his books, and his Letterman jacket was in there, and just like and really mushed it all in, and shut the locker, and had the best spring break of my entire life. Came back to school, and when we all got back to school, that entire hallway smelled like shit because there was shit stewing in one of the lockers and it hadn't been opened yet. And when the bully finally got back, he came into school 2 weeks later, opened up his locker, and just stood there and stared and started crying and started moaning about his Letterman jacket was ruined. Apparently that was one of his prized possessions and all this stuff. And he freaked out, and he was still a bully. He was still a complete asshole for the rest of our time in school, but no one knew that I did this. No one would have assumed that I did. He bullied so many people that they asked me, and they asked probably a dozen or more other kids questions about, did you do this? How'd you get the shit? And what? Never got in trouble for it. No one ever knew it was me. Ruined this kid's jacket and his locker, and everyone made fun of him relentlessly for being the shit locker boy for the rest of the time we were all together in school and whatever. Eventually we all graduated, got out of school. He fucked off and moved away somewhere else. Never seen him again in my entire life. Is that hinged or unhinged behavior?
First off, this never happened. This is a fake story. There's no way. No way.
Mark, everything that's posted on Reddit is true, okay?
There's no way. A week, it would go a week. It's already been a week, so that stuff is pungent enough. It would go a week where not a teacher, not a superintendent, a principal, any of the cleaning staff for the school wouldn't be like, hey, this hallway smells like rotting. Wow, whatever. It's just one of the kids, you know.
Kids are stinky, Mark. I don't know if you've been in high schools lately, but kids smell, okay?
It's seeping juices. It would be seeping out on the bottom to the, even if it was on the floor, it'd be seeping out. It's like, I don't know if they've seen garbage before, but it oozes. I don't know where the liquid comes from, but it oozes.
It does feel like a fake story, but assuming it happened, that's kind of unhinged. Honestly, like,
patently unhinged.
I don't know when this also allegedly took place, but man, I don't know. I would not fuck with anyone in a school these days. Man.
Yeah, wait, what year was this? And how are they not cameras?
I mean, I don't have a specific year.
This is someone reflecting, right? The story is them reflecting.
Yeah, this is someone who's an adult now who's like, this was back in high school. I did this to get one over on this bully for being a piece of shit. So I shoved shit in it.
And he lives in another town now, so, you know, you don't know him.
Somebody could have pulled this off at Milford 20 years ago. Like, it could have been pulled off if someone really wanted to.
I don't know 99% of the people I went to high school with.
You would know who it was. Like,
that's true. You would know who it was.
Who it was to. You'd know, because they would brag or someone would tell. And because he just held this story in all the way until Reddit. That's the perfect person to tell about this. It wouldn't tell his friends.
I get retribution for someone who's been a bully, but like, it's still an unhinged fucking reaction to gather up a bunch of shit, put it in a bag, premeditatedly bring it in, smear someone's stuff in there.
And also, it's like, you know, even bullies have friends, like, so it's not like everyone would turn on this guy for having shit. There's some people that probably wouldn't even know him and would still be like, oh shit, man, that's so bad. Even if he was a bully, you can't bully everybody in school. You can be known as a bully in school, but you can't bully everybody.
Just because you were not a very efficient bully, Mark, doesn't mean that nobody can do that.
What do I like the world's most productive bully?
Mark, your bullying is only at 27%. Timmy over here is at 84.3.
I can't keep up with him. He's gonna get bullied Victorian. I can't do it.
Even the security guard's afraid of Timmy.
Yeah, I should have stuffed monkeys in that locker. That would really. For a week, everyone was hearing from the locker. Like,
dude, I don't know if you know this. This is a little side tangent. Freshman year of high school, I remember the first day walking down like one of the hallways, and there was a kid who I didn't recognize who got shoved into a locker and had the locker slammed shut on him. And I was like, oh my God, it's real. It turned out it was just like a really small dude who was like a sophomore or junior, and his friend did it to him to like scare the freshmen. But it worked. Yeah, like I was fucking like, oh my God. And I was like 6'2" at the time. Like, they're gonna do that to me. I won't even fit very well. They're gonna crush up my bones.
Just gotta stay away from the big lockers.
I remember it was a prank that they pulled, but it was efficient. It scared me. I was like, oh my God, they do that. But
they bullied all the freshmen at once. Anyway, so what? Our verdict is completely unhinged, and also 0% chance this happened anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
that's fair. I just thought it was a funny story.
It is funny as like a work of fiction. It's funny. You know, I'm like, yeah, I got their comeuppance. Yeah, garbage. Didn't affect anybody else in that hallway. Single target, single result. I just don't fuck with people. Like, even back in the day, man, I wouldn't have fucked with people in a school. I remember the kid trying to get on a bus with a baseball bat with nails in it and shit. Like, I would not fuck with kids.
Fuck, what happened in your schools?
So he was one of the ones, there's a whole side thing, but like whenever we were in, I think it was 8th grade or something, there was a big drug bust at Milford that like made national headlines. We had like an undercover cop and like a whole bunch of seniors got arrested. I think he was one of the seniors, but there was a day where he tried to get on the school bus and he had a baseball bat that had fucking nails through it, and the bus driver wouldn't let him on the bus, so he didn't get to go to school that day. But that was literally a thing that happened. I could tell you where he lived too, but
that seems fair. Did he, the bus driver was like, you can't get on here. Was he just like, oh, okay. Or did he like put up a fight?
Kind of, yeah. He was like just trying to get on the bus. The bus driver was like, I'm not letting you on with that thing. And he's like, and the bus driver was like, you're not getting on the bus like that. And he just kind of like caved in and turned around. That's how it happened.
Sounds like he just didn't want to go to school. He knew what was going to happen.
I mean, maybe that's possible too, but yeah.
Anyway, now that we know what's unhinged and what's hinged, I think we can wrap the episode up. Thanks, you guys really cleared a lot of stuff up for me. I know I gave you some tough scenarios, and we didn't actually answer some of them.
If I'm being honest, the toast is living rent-free in my brain.
I will now read you what you got points for. Wade, you got points for wave jokes. That's multiple points, I think. Having a memory of something. Piggybacking off Mark point. Butter the outside edge of the bread point. You eventually completed all 7 types of waves. Wade is forever hinged. You got the monkey breakup point. You got the guy acted like a monkey to me point. And you also got the school security guard acted like a monkey point. You got a lot of monkey points at the end there.
Oh, yeah, he did do a lot of callbacks.
Mark, you earned points for being a loser. Mentioning Real Good AI. realgoodai.org. Check it out. Hinged butter take. Valid but unhinged, stinky trash unhinged, hinged security monkey take, and stupid does not equal unhinged. Mark was really deciding everything, and Wade was just here making jokes.
That sounds about on par.
We'll see how that turns out for me.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, the over-the-shoulder wave. Whenever that wheel came up, I thought you guys had just hung up on me. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I just got kicked out of the call for a second.
Wow, what do you know?
It's 3 again. Of course it's 3.
Who's winning right now?
Oh, Wade, you have 9, and Mark, you have 7. Well, I mean, honestly, Wade's lead comes almost entirely from all of his wave comedy at the opening, though. You were trying to talk about stuff. You were trying to share a part of your life with us very sincerely, and Wade was just making jokes and wave humor and just
My jokes are the sticky glue that holds us together.
Is most unhinged already a thing?
Oh, I thought so. That sounds like something we'd have. I mean, you could always add it a second time, I guess. There's no rules about having something twice, is there?
I just feel like most unhinged, it has to be what this is. That's the thing.
It feels like one we would have had.
I know, doesn't it?
Maybe not. Most angry is there, but we could have the distinction between most unhinged and most angry.
If stupid and unhinged are different, angry and unhinged are definitely different. All right, yep. Most unhinged, that's what I'm adding. And we got 3 spins of this bad Larry. Let's do the dance.
I'm calling background. Shirt closest to background's popping up. We've not had Mark do those calculations in a while.
Deserves the most sympathy.
You called Mark a loser a second ago.
Me and my anger issues, I got a lot of anger issues, Go sympathize for me.
That's true. You got the loser point and you have the anger issues.
I do have the loser point.
Mark deserves the most sympathy.
There you go. You get a pity point, so you can look like you were closer to me when I win.
That's very big if you win, I think. All right, Mark gets the sympathy point. Should have added monkey point. Best mental image point. You guys had some mental imagery around the salmon story where you were sort of talking about how would you put it in your mouth or...
I mean, honestly, I would give it to you, Bob, because you painted all the situations, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I don't know that Mark or I did more than the other.
Because you were providing the scenarios. We were just living in your world. Which reminds me, I want to play that hide the penny game again.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll get back to that. That's on the list.
The fact that I lost because Bob and I chose the same spot still haunts me to this day.
That was so funny. That was really good.
Ripped open the walls to get to that point.
All right, I'm gonna call it a respin. Witness protection. I don't remember what that means.
This is where the person who looks the most like they're in an undisclosed location.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I don't think that any of us
We're all at our home bases.
No, we're all in our normal spots dressed in normal clothes.
Though Mark's background's awfully blurry if it's real.
I feel like you know that it's real, but... shirt closest to background.
Yes! I was hoping for this one, Mark. Get the calculator.
Why do I gotta get the... Oh, man, why? Yeah, we all kind of have... We have red, green, blue shirts. God, fuck. All right. God damn it.
Wait, I could try it. I could try it. Do it, Mark. You just have to.
No, I actually have Photoshop this time now, so I can make it a little easier than I could before. Why?
I just love the numbers flying around Mark's head when he's like, "Oh, it's this," and then you subtract this, and then you times it by 6.
Negative I66434.
God, do I have to do all this? Can you just spin the other one while I do this?
Okay, I'll do the third spin while Mark does his calculations.
Oh, we should do more color math wheel ones. I like those.
Just one where it's like Mark has to solve an equation.
Maybe I'm just hoping I don't have to do this, and it could all be.
-1 to current loser?
See, I don't have to do this.
Well, wait. The only way this one would apply is if Mark doesn't win. If he wins the other one, we're tied.
Fucking Christ, God damn it. You're right, and I want that, but
Sorry, Mark, but either it's a tie and Bob has to spin the wheel, or...
all right, hold on. I gotta get these color values. All right, average of my shirt is right there.
Bob, great spins today. I love this.
I know, we finally got some like weird ones that haven't come up in a while instead of just 3 points for viewers.
I've got some red, I've got some yellow. I'm trying to pick a little spot in between. It's kind of like an orangish brown.
I couldn't have asked for a better ending to a great episode than Mark having to do shirt math.
All right, I'm not picking the darkest dark of your spot. I'm picking that kind of gray one behind you. It's dark gray, but still, it's dark gray. It's 0C, 0C, 0E is yours. So these are the RGB values. I gotta go convert them. Convert hex to RGB. Shut up!
Don't worry, buddy. I'll take you to a rage room after this math is done.
My shirt is 666242. My background is way off. Okay, my background is 193130088.
Ooh.
Your shirt is 2CO-B12, which is 441118. Wait, I'm sorry to say we meant not tie. I think you got this one because it's like, yeah. Your background is 121214. Pretty dark. But your shirt also, if you take not the highlight of your shirt, it's a dark red portion, which is very dark. Mine difference being 66 minus, or 193 minus 66, 130 minus 62, 88 minus 40, 42. Yours is 44 minus 12, 12 minus 11, 18 minus 4. Yours is almost identical to your background.
By math, Wade. You have to do the math, not with your eyeballs, okay?
That's why Mark does our numbers. He's our shirt accountant.
That's me.
All right, so the second spin goes to Wade, which then means that the result of the third spin is that Mark, the current loser, loses another point, which by the
Power invested in me.
Mark's bonus point is erased, and Mark's final score is 7, while Wade's final score is 10, making the winner of today's episode, thank God, Wade. I thought you were going to get me into a wheel spin. Your shirt, to my eye, yours is closer than Wade's is, but I can see his
so
red
too.
is really dark.
Yeah, it's because all of his values are so close to the bottom. Meanwhile, this, if I was picking like right about here, is still bright, and I was picking right above my head where these colors meet, which is still bright, but they're green and orange are at opposite ends of the color wheel. Yeah, so that's why that does that.
That makes Wade our champion. Mark, loser speech?
I might be wrong about green and orange being opposite of the color wheel. Some color scientist is also going to pick me apart there.
I'm not going to question it.
I just picked the numbers. I converted it to a hex. That's what it was. It's what it is, and I don't know. That's just what it was. So I wish it was any other way. We want that wheel being spun. We haven't spun that tie wheel in forever. I feel I let people down with my shirt choice because I had a different shirt this morning, but I was like, I wore that yesterday. I can't have the same one. And it was an orange, like Wisconsin cheese shirt. It would have been identical to it, but I didn't do it. I let people down. I let my family down. I let myself down. And more importantly, I let Chica down.
I think Chica will forgive you. The rest of us, not so much.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Wade, victory speech.
Yes, I think green and red aren't exactly opposites. I think orange and blue would be a bit more opposite, or green and like red, not green and orange. So, but it was, well said, well spoken, and ultimately, this shirt is black, gray, charcoal. The science says it, math says it. Some of you might see white and gold, but in fact, these are both charcoal gray.
Maybe I should sample colors again. I feel like I should.
If you want to do more math, Mark, you're welcome to, but I think this is going to be the end of the episode. Make sure you follow the podcast. That way you'll know when episodes go live. Make sure you follow us on our socials, Markiplier, Lord Minion 777, and MiceGerm. The names are probably on the screen or whatever. Mine's over here in this sick-ass stained glass window that's up on my wall behind me. That's pretty sick. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and listening. That's the end of the episode. We'll see you in the next one where Wade will host, as he is the winner. Podcast out.